quick update from me. If you have any questions for my 1 year on YouTube Q&A, please pop them in the comments below and I will get back to them next week. And now on with the show. Hello and welcome to another Postdoc vlog, this time from a different location, because after my Brexit, we have now my Berlin. Getting into Berlin. It's been a month of moving country. I've also tried to work, which, you know, various successes. One of the main things that happened was that I had my first day at the office. Who'd have thought? This is an exciting day. This is the first day I will be going to the office since March 2020. Will I actually be doing a lot of work today? Probably not. I think it's going to be a full day and I'm going to do a lot of stuff, but not necessarily work. There's still a lot of administrative crap that needs to be done. You know, I've just moved country, or tried to move country, so I need to register at the, I don't know, the city hall, I think, somewhere. I need to get an online appointment for that, but I don't know how to do that. I need to get a bank account somehow. There's still other things that I need to figure out, like when will my stuff from Leeds get here? Will it ever get here? Will they ever tell me when they will get here? Because they've been brushing me off for like a solid week now, of like, yeah, we'll email you tomorrow about when we depart with your stuff. And that's been going on for a week. So I really would like to know a date when they depart with my stuff. And other stuff, like, I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but it's quite dark here yet because there's no lights. I mean, I have one standing light, but there's no ceiling lights anywhere. And I really want to add lights. I have a lot of lights, but I want approval from my landlord, that it's allowed to drill holes in the ceiling. These kinds of things. These are occupying me right now. Super exciting stuff. That brings me on to the lamp saga. Or the lampless saga. Because when I arrived here, this is what it looked like. And as you can see, it was pretty dark. Now you may wonder, why was it that dark? Well, there were no lights except for the little light in the cooker hood, as you can see. And this was quite a surprise to me, because when I was viewing the property online, they assured me that there will be lamps. And, you know, that would also be quite handy because the ceiling is 4.5 meters high. I don't have a drill, I don't have a ladder. So I was very excited that there would be lamps. I arrived here, there were no lamps. So I asked the people who showed me in, where are the lamps? And they told me, well, you have to do the lamps yourself, but don't worry, you can borrow our ladder. Even if I have a ladder, this will be very difficult. But, you know, optimistic, just go with the flow. Okay, there are no lamps, so I went to IKEA and I bought a shit ton of lamps. Nice lamps, beautiful lamps. Some quite expensive lamps because I thought, you know, they need to look a little bit nice, and the ceiling is 4.5 meters high, so maybe you want a nice kind of longer lamp, you know? Anyway, I bought 4 lamps. Obviously, I am not able to install them myself because, again, the ceiling is 4.5 meters high. So I found this thing called TaskRabbit, where you could find a handyman and they would then come and install whatever you couldn't do yourself. So I thought, okay, I'll just, you know, fix an appointment with one of those people and get my lamps installed. But there's just some little like wires hanging out of the ceiling at this point, right? So there's no holes where you can attach anything. So I thought, just to be sure, and because I also had other questions, let me write my landlord and see if I can drill holes to attach the lamps. Just to have it black and white, you know, just to be sure. So I emailed the landlord, and he said, no, the lamps should be provided. Do not install your own lamps. You're not allowed to drill. At which point I thought, I just bought lamps for like a lot of money. He said, don't worry, we will get the people to install the lamps as, you know, they should be provided. So I thought, okay, you know, staying optimistic, this will just mean that for whatever next place I live in, I have a shitload of lamps. I can just save them until then, I guess. And hope I also have a high ceiling. This took a while. And I needed to get back to them multiple times because they couldn't, they were not the construction company, so they for some reason couldn't communicate to them, and they had said, yeah, install lamps, but then they didn't know when that would happen, so it all took quite a while, you know. And remember that I started asking about, you know, when I arrived here, so that's early January. Yeah, there were some delays. At some point they figured out, oh, actually we're not getting in contact with you because you don't have a German phone number yet. I was like, okay, whatever. Let's just email then to get an appointment. And then I got an appointment. So I had to get up very early, but I was very excited. Here's the clip. So it's 6:30 and I got up not that long ago. And frankly, this is a ridiculous time to get up if you're doing home office, which I am. But I am up this early because apparently today is the day that they will install lamps. And that would be great. That would be great. So here's to hoping that they will actually be here and install lamps. Okay, so you'd think, all good. They would arrive, I was up, I was very excited to get my lamps. And then this happened. Remember when I was very happy this morning and I got up very early because they would finally be installing lamps, and it's the 27th of January, okay? So I've been without lamps for a while, and the electricians came just now at around 9 o'clock, and they told me that they don't install lamps. So 3 people came to my apartment, 3 electricians. They showed me the lamps they would have installed if they were allowed to install lamps in my apartment. And then they told me, we cannot do that. So the lampless saga continues, and I still don't have lights, and I'm starting to lose the plot just a little bit. So yes, your apartment is not on the list of apartments where we install lamps. So after the clip you just saw, I rang the landlord, and he immediately knew who I was. And he was like, oh yeah, the lamps, yeah, don't worry, they're coming today. No, they just were here and they told me they could not and would not install lamps. At which point the landlord was also shocked, and he said, oh, I didn't know that, I'm so sorry, what is happening? Oh, I guess I'll need to fix something administratively. And then he said, I will fix it by the end of today, which is now 4 days ago. So I still have no lamps. I don't know when the lamps will be. The fact that there's also a wall that's not painted is something I'm kind of glossing over at the moment. In other fun moving stuff, the stuff from Leeds took a really long time to arrive, but then at some point it finally did, so that was great. And then, you know, my house went through various stages of being just an utter mess. It still is a mess, but I'm hoping that it will become less of a mess through time. Besides from that, I've been doing a lot of things like going to the city hall, registering. Still need to do a lot of stuff as well. I'm not entirely sure if I fixed up my electricity bills correctly at the moment. Not entirely sure if I did internet correctly. I still don't have a bank account. The list goes on, really. So yeah, still lots to do. Also quite busy with work now because things popped up, and I will tell you more about that in like a future vlog, because it's quite exciting and I think it deserves its own vlog. And also, if it turns out to be a complete disaster, then I will know I can first live through it and then I can report to you. So yeah, that is it basically. I've been moving to Berlin. Have I actually seen something of Berlin? Of course not. No, I've just seen a lot of boxes and bubble wrap. Haven't explored yet. Also, we're still in a pandemic, so it's not as if we can just go anywhere easily. I have been going to the office kind of regularly, as in a couple of times a week, which has been nice. But I also noticed that I have become quite a hermit and I need to get used to going to the office again. So yeah, that is the report of my first month in Berlin. Lots of packing, lots of calling, lots of emailing to try and get things done. Not successful on all fronts. Let's hope that in February the lamp saga is concluded and I have lamps. That would just be great. I will see you next month. Bye! I think I found the campus, but now I need to find the building and suddenly I'm very, very nervous. Oh dear. I guess I